I get asked this question a lot, right? How should I choose an agency or an employee to help me with my email? Now, as an agency owner, I've also hired people and I've had to kind of figure this out. And, just to give you a spoiler up front, there's no perfect answer to this, but what I'm going to tell you here today can save you a lot of time, money, and honestly, just effort and heartbreak down the road. So, first things first, I'm going to start. This one applies to both. Obviously, it's different if you're talking agency. You're probably not going to be as tightly in communication as if you hire somebody and you have to train them or you're directly responsible for them. So, these apply slightly differently to each, but the same thing goes. First of all, you're going to be interacting with these people, person, right, organization. Do they seem like a good fit? When you talk to them, can you communicate well? Can they communicate well? Do you guys share any interests? Does it just feel right? Right? A lot of times it's not just about the bottom line, although that's important and we'll get to that. But if you've got to interact and work with these people, there needs to be a good working relationship. And usually you can tell that pretty quickly. And so while they maybe have some different work styles or different communication methods, again, that can be resolved. But make sure it's a good fit, that you just feel good about it. Okay, secondly, start checking out, technical results and look at them. If you're hiring a graphic designer for your email templates, check it out. Ask them what they've done, right? They should have a portfolio. Same goes for a writer. Same thing. They should be able to immediately share that stuff with you. Same thing again with an agency. If maybe they're doing all of this for you, they should be able to provide results right away. If they can't, that's a huge red flag. Secondly, what I would do, especially when working with employees, is to hire them or give them a test before hiring. So I've done this and still do. If we're hiring someone from a job board or a marketplace, we might hire or bring on for 2 or 3 people for a test and say, hey, we've got, kind of a 2-week test that we would like you to go through. And it's meant to be fairly simple. And we just want to see that, obviously you can do what you say you did, and also that we can work well together, because we want to test this relationship before really jumping in and doing something longer term. So that requires you to do a little upfront work and have some tests ahead of time. So for email, again, if you're having someone do it all, you could maybe lay it out a little simpler. Maybe you're testing someone for graphics. You need to have a little bit of a graphical test. For a copywriter, you need to have that. But setting that up ahead of time doesn't have to be too complicated. It could be, you could use Google Sheets. It could be a checklist, something like that. But make sure you know what the end goal is. What are you looking for? And, if you're not great at judging certain things, like maybe copy, you're not it, go find someone, ask around. Do you have anybody in your network that can help you judge this? Or just get some feedback on it. Just send it out to your friends or people who you at least trust to give you some good advice. Say, hey, what do you think about this? And then go back, and especially the power of this is if you're testing several people, right? You can also compare them to each other. What did this person do? Did somebody need a lot of help? Did somebody ask a good question? What happened? What was the interaction like? All right, a little tougher with an agency, but there's other ways to do this as well. Again, just asking for some more references, maybe seeing what they've done previously. And then going on from that, I would definitely go for myself with, a limited initial commitment. So that's the same with an employee. I'd bring someone on for 30 days and say, hey, we're just going to try this. Appreciate you passing, doing that initial little paid test. Let's bring it on for 30, 60, 90 days to the team. And, we'll see how it goes. And if it's a good fit in both directions, we'll go from there. And then the same with an agency. I know this depends a lot of times on the size of the business, size of the agency. There may be some longer term contracts there. But if you're a small to medium sized e-commerce business, I would definitely be looking month to month, kind of performance based, and say, okay, so long as things continue to work well, that's great. We can work together. But I want to see the results and, see how the interaction goes, so that, either of us, if it's not a good fit in either direction, we can call it a day and move on. So I also mentioned results. I think that's just part of it, going on, saying, hey, we want to see continued results. That could be an employee, could be an agency. We want to continue to see that. So obviously agency probably responsible for a little bit more. An employee might be responsible for a section like a copy or the graphics, or putting together the strategy. But in that case, it just breaks down into that little area, and you can say, hey, we want to see continued good performance. So hopefully this helps you when you're hiring, whether it's an employee, freelancer, agency, whatever that might be for your email marketing. Speaking of, if you'd like help with your email marketing, you can, of course, get a hold of me, Adam Moody, at oasisoptimization.com.